So, Father, you mentioned we talked about the Rosary a little bit, and I just wanted to ask something about that. So, because kind of in my personal life, I struggle with the Rosary. Like I really, really struggle. Like I want to love it, and I just don't. Like I just want to be blunt.
We need honesty,
because,
right? We need honesty.
Because what I do is I find myself really like I have a really difficult time meditating with it, and so then what I'll do, and this is just my own spiritual disposition in the way that I am, is I'll find myself, babbling like the pagans, basically. Like instead of it being,
I understand. Just to get it done.
I'll treat it instead of like I know it's supposed to help you, meditate with Mary, like, and I understand all that, but then when I go to like apply that in my own prayer life, I have such a difficult time with it, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that experiences that,
right.
And so my question is, what is a way that I or somebody listening who has some difficulty with like that particular devotion, like what's a way that I can still grow in my relationship with the Blessed Mother, and get closer to her, that maybe it's a different way of praying the Rosary that I'm not thinking of, or maybe it's some other thing.
Okay. It's a good point. I think a lot of people struggle with that. And I'm raising my hand. I mean, I don't want people to think, oh, Father, you love, you've been consecrated, you wear your rosary. I see you're wearing your rosary as well. You wear your rosary, you go to Medjugorje every year. Every time you pray the rosary, you must be like, and cloud nine.
Levitating.
No.
The saints.
The mind wanders. No matter whether I'm praying the rosary or sometimes even open scripture, or sometimes praying my breviary, the mind wanders. And so there are times when, like, let's face it, not that there are maybe certain saintly people that they automatically go into ecstasy when they start doing that. I'm not one of those people, and I recognize that.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm just going to kind of connect with you. They're going to see sometimes somebody pray 2 decades of the rosary thinking, what did I just do? I just prayed them, but I really wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
St. John the 23rd said, when someone was saying, I feel like I'm getting nothing out of this rosary, I kind of pray it. And St. John the 23rd said, the worst rosary said is the one that's never said.
Yeah.
And I think what he meant by that, it's just St. John the 23rd, I hope this is what you meant by this, is the notion that, obviously this is time honored, and the holiest of saints had a devotion with the rosary that grew them closer to God. So I think what he was saying is that on the one hand, yes, there's tools that we can do, as you said, but we have to just do it sometimes. And I know from my own life, and this may be from my own life when I'm trying to help people with the rosary, I said, I know there are times when I pray the rosary, whether it's just one set of mysteries, sometimes I try to want to do, the joyful, sorrowful, and glorious Thursdays. I want to do all of them in one day. I'm trying to follow what Medjugorje says. It's like pray those every day. Of course, then John Paul II brought the Luminous. Thank you, John Paul II. You gave us a whole other set that we have to do. But I think one of the evidence for me
we get to do.
The evidence we get to do, yes. But let's face it, sometimes you're thinking, okay, I've got my breviary, I got my scripture, I'm doing these things, and now I'm going to pray these. So sometimes I only put the Luminous on the Thursdays when I do the other 3 every day. But for me, sometimes when those times, and now they're far and few between, but when I really was trying to make that part of my spiritual life, at the end of the day, maybe when I didn't pray the rosary, knowing that the day before, maybe when I prayed it, my mind was wandering, I felt a void in the evening. I felt a great void in my spiritual life thinking, I missed something and I don't feel as close to you right now, God. And it made me really realize, okay, even when I'm praying the rosary, and even maybe my mind is wandering and I felt like I'm not getting anything out of this, because I had that absence the next day when I didn't pray it, I recognized I am getting something out of this because God sees my effort, even though the mind's wandering. Now, there still can't be, obviously tools that we're doing. Sometimes people like to put on music, like to put on chant. There's certain types of music that can elicit a lot of emotions, and it helps me. Or some people like to do the scriptural rosary.
Yeah.
So there's different tools that we can do, but I guess in the long and short of it is, I would say, is that you just got to do it. And I know it's kind of buckle up, so to speak, because you are in communion with so many other saints who picked up that rosary and prayed it. And so I guess as long as you do it and try to enroll yourself in the School of Mary, whether it's, like I said, reading scripture, sometimes I like to put on music, sometimes I like to be in front. Obviously, I have the opportunity. I live right beside the church. I can go in the church and be there with all the stained glass windows and the statues, and that helps me too.
Yeah.
I guess try to figure out what it is that works for you, what that may be. Of course, I know people with their families and stuff, if they got children and they're trying to pray with their kids, that becomes difficult. I know that.
Yeah.
But once again, you try to instill that.
You just get it done.
It's that feminine, immaculate heart. It's just
The,
being drawn into that mystery.
If you haven't already, like, subscribe, make sure you're getting those notifications, and especially share. Definitely share if you found some of this video to be helpful or in any way insightful, share it with others. So that'll help us out a lot, help our mission out. Until next time on Spirit and Spire.